All right, let's meet him. Let's bring him out. We're so excited to talk to you. She plays the lovely and innocent Miss Emma Swan, Jennifer Morrison. He plays the handsome and charming David and Prince Charming, Josh Dallas. She's been known to sing with birds and cavort with little men. Jennifer Goodwin, who plays and the dreaded, dark, sinister, evil queen, Lana Parrilla. This next woman we're going to get to see more of. She has a little streak of red in her every week. Little Red, Megan Ori. And I have a feeling there's several sets of superfans out there for this next series regular. We loved her as Claire, and we're going to love her even more as Belle. Emily Gravitt. All right, guys, this is the best looking cast on television, I think, first of all. You know, a lot of shows attempt musical episodes, some better than others. We had a great Buffy one. I love the Grays one. And this show, I think, lends itself to a musical episode more than any other. What about doing that? And who on the panel, who on the cast sings?
Josh Dallas.
Yeah, we could do a musical episode.
Boys? These guys keep asking.
I think we'd like to do a musical, but on ice.
So, big question we've been getting out there in the Once Upon a Time universe is, I think we all believe once the curse was broken, that everybody would just simply go back to fairy tale land, yet they didn't. What's up with that?
That's an excellent question. Well,
And I would be asking that too, and I wonder if we will find that out. I guess we'd have to watch season 2.
yeah, I really hope we discuss that. But
By the way, everyone says go back to, but we don't know if there's anything to go back
I mean,
to.
the last thing we saw was a curse ripped through a castle, wrecking destruction. Who knows if there's anything there?
Well, guys, you start filming actually on Monday, right?
Yes.
So I know that you're under orders to keep things quiet, but you got the scripts when?
A couple days, he says we have scripts. Last week. Yeah.
And what went through your mind as you were reading them? Were you, this is what I thought it would be, or whoa, or did you call each other?
All of the above?
Yes, all of the above.
I mean, I never could have conceived of the brilliance that is the first couple of scripts. But I will say that as an audience member, it's exactly what I would want to see. It's more than we could ever hope for.
I have a question about the names. In the very last episode, Snow and Charming called each other by their fairy tale names. Are we not going to hear the names Regina and David? Or is they going to all call each other?
Well, one of the things that we do explore is what does it mean that they spent all these cursed years as these characters? We're not completely deleting that part of their lives. So the Davids and the Mary Margarets and the Reginas are all a part of who they are now. And that's something we explore.
There's a lot of sorting out to do.
Well, Jennifer, one of the big questions that people ask is if we're going to meet Emma's foster parents, the people who raised her, if that's even significant.
Well, I mean, I find it significant. I don't know. I mean, we don't know from the first 2 scripts if that's going to happen, and I guess that depends on what they decide in terms of the structure of the show and if we're going to see Emma's past the way we've seen other characters' past in Fairy Tale Land or not. But I think that would, it's obviously really affected who she is as a person.
Yeah,
I'm much more interested in who Henry's father is.
Yeah.
Same here.
So, give us, I've actually spiked the one with vodka, so give us some hints. Drink up and Give us some hints on when we might, who it could be, where he might be.
It might be Sneezy.
As for when,
definitely not
season
Dopey.
2.
Season 2. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
so it will
we
be
are.
revealed.
Yeah.
We can definitively say that in season 2 you will find out the identity of Henry's father.
Awesome. Jennifer, do you have a guess, an inkling? Just what would you, if you had a guess?
I know. Do? I know.
Give it up, girlfriend.
His name's Jeff. He lives in a suburb outside Chicago. It's not a big deal.
Wow.
It's a one-time thing.
So how do you think we'll respond when we find out?
I think that people will be very excited to see that storyline play out for sure.
Okay.
Find out.
When did you find out, actually?
We kind of discussed it really early on in the pilot process, the sort of conception of who he would be, because that, obviously Emma knows who it is, I hope. So that obviously impacts her decision making and her relationship with Henry and her relationship with everyone in Storybrooke and anyone she comes in contact with, in a sense. So it was something that I kind of needed to know from my own research and backstory in order to start playing Emma.
So I'll ask this, and I'm not going to say a name, but is it somebody perhaps we've met before?
Well, we can't tell.
Drink up.
But it's either someone you've met or haven't.
When Emma was fighting the dragon in the finale, we saw the shattered remnants of Snow White's casket, the glass casket. So from that, I guess we're to assume that that's the remnants of Storybrooke down there. Is that correct? Is that what we're supposed to take from that?
Well, I think
I'm not Fairy Tale Land, not Storybrooke.
I think obviously we saw last year there was some bleed through as if the two worlds were touching.
And that is something that we are going to explore. Why certain things came over and for what reasons.
Okay. Are you still going to tell two different tales?
Yeah, you know what? The show this year is not going to change from the one you loved last year. We are just going to move forward with deeper stories and get more into the characters, but we are still going to go back and forth, and we're going to meet some new people along the way.
Well, a lot of you became action stars this year. I don't know if you signed up for that, the bruises and scars that were to come. And Lana and Jennifer, in your climactic finale scene, I heard that it got a little rough. How much of that was stunt doubles, and tell us about
Well,
those?
there weren't any stunt doubles.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, there was
We kicked each other's asses.
We successfully hurt ourselves, I think. We did.
I can throw myself into that. Don't worry about it. Cut to a huge bruise on the back of my arm, and Jen had a few of her own.
Yeah, everyone was so worried that we'd actually hurt each other. We're like, no, we hurt ourselves. Because she would throw herself forward, and then I would throw myself back, and then we had all these crazy bruises.
But we're very careful not to hurt each other.
Yeah, didn't hurt each other, just hurt ourselves.
They had bruises all over, and Adam and I saw it, and we ran on the set, and we said, "Who did this to you?"
And it was each other.
It was kind of fun, actually, to show my bruises off, I have to admit. I felt like a real badass.
Who else got some bruises and scrapes this season?
I've had a few, sure.
Josh is
Dude,
lucky
but
to have a hand. Jimmy's lucky to have
No,
no.
I ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Episode 3. Right before remember in episode 3, the net scene? Where Charming strings up Snow White? I am conveniently covering my eye through that entire scene with one of the pieces of rope because I had just come back from the emergency room and gotten a number of stitches. I was very proud.
Came back to work the same day.
Wow, that's the white trooper.
We're insane. We're all like, we all got hurt.
And
We're gonna
Ginny,
get hurt this
It is a
season.
safety concern. We do try.
Ginny, did I hear that you, when you were horseback riding, there was also something with that, or?
No, that was the day that I ended up in stitches. But
Oh.
all I was saying, it involved my flying and someone else on a horse.
Oh, okay. Without saying what it is there something that any of you have to do in the first episode that you're a little worried about?
Act.
Well, you got that.
Melding these two characters together. Yeah, that's gonna be easy, I think.
Well, I know we're not supposed to play favorites, but I really do love to hate one of you. And I was hoping Eddie and Adam, Lana, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to pass this down. If you would just say this line that we've heard you say on the show. Just take a moment and find your inner queen.
I will destroy you. If it is the last thing I do.
Yeah. Well, Lana, since you did that for us, I feel that it's only fair for us to do something for you. Tomorrow happens to be your birthday. You guys may not be able to sing, but I bet we can, right? Ready? Let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lana. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, wow, thank you. I had to make
Lana, tell us who are these evil regals?
Where are my evil regals out there? Stand up, evil regals! Show yourselves! That's it? Alright, even if you're not an evil regal, stand up! Pretend to be one! Okay! We are converting some of you. We're crossing over to the dark side as of today. Welcome. Yes, so my evil regals are out there somewhere.
Tell us, how did you find out about them, and what do they do? How do they communicate with you?
Via Twitter.
Okay.
It's really a community to rip hearts out and actually bake.
They're my gang, my posse. Thank you.
Are they
I
your
love them.
minions?
I love
Do you
them.
give them-
I communicate with them quite often on Twitter. And they've done so many incredible things. Like a lot of them have become good friends. They've traveled to see each other.
Challenge, the evil
Yeah, they have a
health
health challenge. It was our hiatus, and they decided to get healthy. So they came up with this thing called the Evil Regal Get Healthy Challenge. And some people have lost, many of them have lost weight. And I decided I should jump on board. So I quit smoking, and that was 6 months.
Awesome.
Denial of it for so long, and then I saw my evil regals getting healthy. I thought I better do the same thing.
You quit smoking only to have your producers fill your lungs with purple smoke
Exactly.
in the very last scene. If you want to, whoever wants to say their Twitter handle so you can get some new followers today, if anyone wants to say that, feel free. If you want to share that.
On there, I think.
Yeah. And all
Yeah.
of the fans even, as there are the evil regals, all of the fans requested names.
Yes, that's how it started.
And so we had our fans vote on what they wanted their names to be, and I literally went through every single response and made a tally. So she did. So my @Ginny Goodwin followers are now called the Fairest.
Oh, I
Charmers.
The Charmers. That's @Josh Dallas.
Oh my God, I love you too.
Well, Josh and Ginny, we actually talked. You had a moment where you were filming that climactic scene, and you had an audience, actually.
Yes.
Tell us about your fears and concerns in filming that scene when you were being observed.
I don't know if I had any fears or concerns about it, but it was certainly different, doing the scene with a barricade of 40, 50 people sitting there watching you. Normally it's just the crew and the cameras.
When we were what I was nervous about was that the end beat of our recognizing
Would be
each other
given away, yeah.
would be leaked, and I thought that would be a shame because I would think it would be more satisfying as an audience member to not know that the curse would be broken at the end of the finale. And so I wanted, because we were yelling Snow and Charming, And I bet we had more than, I bet we had 100, 150 people, because we had people barricaded in all the different corners. And I was like, what words look like snow and charming that we can yell, and then we can, loop it later, we can ADR it later with the proper names. We were coming up with.
I think they were just noises.
Some good ones.
Joe Farming.
Yeah.
Farming!
It's like that.
You guys just needed me there. I could have solved the problem.
Well, Megan, down there, might I first say what big eyes you have today?
Thank you.
What lovely eyes. Now that magic is coming to Storybrooke, is it possible that you could turn into a wolf and start feasting on people in Storybrooke?
Well, is that not the biggest question? That would be bad.
Who would you most want to feast on first if you had the choice?
Ooh. Yeah, who would be the tastiest? Someone handsome. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Dr. Whale, maybe.
Dr. Whale, okay.
He wasn't too nice to Ruby.
Megan, I guess next week you're getting the red streak, or how does that work exactly?
The red streaks? Those are actually clip-ins.
Oh.
If anybody wants to, don the red streak, you can go out and buy some.
Is anybody there? Have they copied the red streak look? Has anyone? Not yet?
To market this could be called like Reds. I know. It's very red today. Red black.
Ruby's Reds.
Ruby's Reds.
Ruby's Reds.
There you go. I like it.
Designed
Well, Emily, one person who really wanted to be here today, who couldn't be here, is Robert Carlyle. We love him. How do you keep a straight face when he's doing his
There's many takes. Okay. No, he's wonderful. He's he's probably my most enjoyable co-star to work with in any job I've had, really. He's I don't know, just very charismatic, and yes, all through the makeup and the craziness, though, he's just this incredible guy, and does a wonderful job.
Well, I thought the episode that introduced you was my favorite episode of the year. I thought it was just absolutely beautiful the way that was told. When they gave you the look, the yellow dress, did you feel like you had been painted into a Disney movie?
Yeah, God, the wardrobe department is insane on this. I walked in and I think they make basically a wedding dress in 3 days, constantly through this season. They're wonderful, and it was a kind of a really cool moment, actually. And the blue one too, because that's really significant as well.
Well, I was worried because I so fell in love with you as Belle, and you had shot a pilot, and as much as I wanted that to go, I really wanted you to stay in Storybrooke. Was there a contingency plan, guys? How are you going to steal Belle away so you can continue telling these stories?
Dark magic.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have to resort to that, but we're very, very happy to have Emily aboard.
Yeah.
It all worked, yeah. Emily, if you could play with any of your lost co-stars in Storybrooke, who would you pull along?
Oh, God, that's a hard question.
Probably.
Really.
Wouldn't it be the Aaron the baby?
Yeah, baby. No, the baby's been through enough.
Squirrel baby?
Poor child.
Russo can run out of a house and steal him?
No, I think it would be fun to play with Terry. Even
Yeah.
though I know he's busy on 666 Palm.
Yeah.
That follows.
Amazing.
But maybe that kind of intertwines the story or something.
We can get to some questions from you guys, but quickly I want to do a speed round of possible characters we could see come play with you guys. So, just about 4 or 5 names here. Little Mermaid.
I'd like to see it.
Love that.
Aladdin.
Someday.
Someday. Okay, all right. Cruella de Vil.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Winnie the Pooh. Huh? yeah, exactly. And then lastly, what about Goofy?
I think Goofy is probably going to be Henry's father, so thank you.
Spoiler alert.
Gotta give Emma more credit here.